What is up, everybody? It's CJ and I'm back with another Pleasantville renovation video. So today I am furnishing 190 Sim Lane, and y'all, this house has a lot going on. So for one, I'm trying to figure out this chimney situation. The chimney for this house is huge. I had to go to the Sims wiki to look up what the original house looked like, and y'all, the original house is even worse because it has a little roof on the chimney part. And I'm like, why? So I didn't include a roof for it. I did put a half wall though, just to make it look more chimney like, but there's just a lot going on in this house, y'all. I feel like a lot of the EA houses have a symmetry issue, a lot of them, where it's like, it looks nice, but the roofing will be off usually. You can usually fix it by like, you know, making it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. So that's kind of what I did for this build. You'll see that I like started out by making the right side a little bit bigger, and then you'll see it in a little bit. There's this like add-on to the house, and it has like the little bump outs in the front, and the thing is, you can technically roof that, but if you look, it just kind of looks like it's off-centered. So I had to basically go back and just make it a little bit bigger, so that way I could better roof the house. And even after I re-roofed it with this octagonal roof piece right here, it still looks a little bit off, so I kind of covered it up with some trees. You can't really tell that much. I also put like a little fence above it, so you can't really see it that well, and I changed the color of the roof to black. Originally, I just like the black color, but then when I looked back on the Sims wiki, it was also black, so it kind of made sense, I think. I also added like a little roof at the top of the house, and I also added some more columns. This is just to kind of like have something else on the house, because I feel like the front of it was looking very flat. This is like a colonial style home, so it kind of makes sense, but I wanted just a little extra details. I'm also going in now and I'm adding some more flowers out in the front, and I'm adding like a little makeshift flower bed with this fence object. I really like those yellow flowers out in front, so I did keep them, and I did swap out a lot of the windows from the original ones. I'm using these from base game. These are the back to the basic window. I quite like these because they're a little bit bigger and they let in more light, but I did also use some of those shutters, which I don't really use shutters that much when I build in The Sims, so it was kind of nice to use some today. In all, I really love how this house turned out, y'all. I think I say that like all the time, but I really love how this one turned out. So when I first saw it, it was kind of giving me like Home Alone vibes. Like if you ever seen the house in those movies, it was kind of giving that vibe. And then it kind of got me thinking about the 90s. And then when I got to the inside of the house and I was doing the floor plan, I looked at the kitchen, I was like, this is definitely giving a 90s vibe or like an early 2000s vibe. So this house is heavily inspired by the 90s. Now it's not like super like neon and a bunch of crazy patterns per se, but it's like one of those, I guess, stereotypical 90s houses. It's kind of funny though, because I have been getting a lot of nostalgia TikToks in my algorithm lately. So like it'll be like 90s core kitchen or like coffee house aesthetic or whatever. So I've been getting like a lot of those. I think I'm like subconsciously just thinking about the 90s a lot. So we kind of start off in the kitchen. I kind of went with a more closed off floor plan. This house is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, and there is a family of 4 that stays here. It's a mom who is a stay-at-home mom, and then it's a dad who's like a businessman, and then they have 2 boys, which I don't think they're twins. I would say they're more like close in age, but you know, it's The Sims, so they're like both kids, but I would say like, you know, one is older than the other, you know. So we start off in the kitchen, which I will say, I think it's a little interesting how we have our stairway right here to the kitchen. Like, I'm pretty sure if you look in real life, you'll probably see something like this, but if I were to like change my mind, I would probably want to move the stair where the living room is and not have it right here in the kitchen, but it's okay, you know, it's fine. It still looks nice in the end. I was really inspired by the kitchen though. I think I said this earlier, but I was really inspired by the kitchen, especially like the tile in here. So I kept the tile, I kept the cabinets, I kept the appliances. I added some upper cabinets just to kind of have some. I didn't really realize this until I really started playing The Sims 2, but The Sims 2 does not have any upper cabinets. So like if you want some, you have to get CC. And I don't know why they did that. I don't know if it was like a game limitation or something, but yeah, The Sims 2 does not have any upper cabinets, which is interesting. But I'm adding some in here. I'm also adding a couple of bar stools. To me, this kitchen just gives off like the 90s aesthetic. I don't know how to explain it. You'll see that a lot of the different parts of the house are different colors, so we kind of have like a brownish beige kind of washed out color down here, but then the living room is like kind of bluish themed. I don't know, I was getting like a lot of inspiration from a lot of different places, so you will have to let me know down below what you think of this house. I even went back and I'm adding like a bunch of clutter, so I have the cookie jars with the flowers on them. I have the little like cup with the wooden spoon and fork and stuff. I even have that little home sweet home picture as well, because I'd imagine like the mom would definitely have something like that in her house. Like I feel like if anything, she was looking through like every like 90s home catalog magazine thing that she could find, you know, and she was just like, oh, I'm gonna order this, I'm gonna order that, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get that, and then this is how the house looks, you know. So now we kind of move on to the downstairs bathroom, and believe it or not, these arched windows actually have matching blinds to go with them, so I definitely used those. At first I didn't really want to put curtains and blinds in this house because I was like, it kind of makes it look a little bit darker, but then I was like, I definitely have to have some because like it just kind of fits the vibe more. So I did add a lot of curtains and blinds to but just about every window. A lot of them don't show up in the video, but you will see it in the screenshot. So I was able to use the blinds to kind of go with the windows. I'm a little bit disappointed because y'all, my game crashed. In the middle of me building this, my game crashed. Luckily, something told me to save because I had a feeling, because I was trying to like move out this fireplace. And if you can see right then, I was trying to delete it, but it wouldn't let me delete it. Fireplaces in The Sims, especially if you have move objects turned on, very, very finicky. So I had to basically like save the game, and then like when I tried to like remove it and place another one down, my game crashed. If you have move objects on and you delete the fireplace, make sure you delete the chimney that goes with it. Once all the chimney pieces are gone, then you replace it. So that's what I ended up doing. So you'll see a little bit later that the fireplace changes, but as of now though, I'm using that old school TV entertainment center object. It's from the 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff pack. I have some of those base game couches in here because these couches just kind of give off like our early 2000s, 90s energy to me. I'm also using the coffee table from Generations as well. It took me a while to kind of settle on a color for it. I just kind of went with wood in the end. And then I also added a game console. So I'm using like the nice one that comes with the Generations pack. And then I wanted to use this fireplace. I had a hard time finding one that kind of fit the vibe, but I ended up using this one. And then I'm using some of these sconces. They're like candles that go on the wall, which I could definitely see a house in the 90s having something like this. So they have a blue or like a teal and brown color scheme. And then I'm also using this bookshelf. Y'all, I had the hardest time with the layout here because I feel like this room is so big, but like there's just stuff in the way. Like we have a weird bump out for the stair, we have a sliding door in the back. So it took me a while to kind of figure out where I wanted things to go because I knew that I wanted to have a computer desk down here, and I just didn't know like where things were gonna go. So you'll see me swap the bookshelf and the desk around a lot, but in the end I did put the computer desk over here by the window, and then the bookshelf is where the desk is. I finally swapped them around to a place that kind of made sense. And then I also added a really old computer because, you know, it's the 90s, like, you know, this is the top of the line technology. So I added like a little family computer down here as well. And then yeah, these are like those blinds I was telling y'all about. They kind of fit perfectly with the window. I did go back and add some curtains as well, and I'm using the ones from the Generations pack. And then I wanted to add like an extra chair in here, so I'm using this one from base game, which I never use, and I did change the color of it and I just added it. So now we go upstairs, and this is just me now fixing the floor plan because earlier I had to make the build one tile bigger at the top. So I'm trying to like fix the floor plan. As you can see, EA was just doing anything. I don't even know, y'all. I don't know if it's because the build tools were new and they just didn't really know how to use them properly, and they were like, let's just make a house that works. I don't know what the excuse was or the reason, but like I feel like if they just would have tried a little bit harder, they could have had a perfect nice house. You know, the outside of the house, even without me even like renovating it, it looked good enough, right? Like the roofing was passable, you know, the house was nice with the shingles, but it's just like, I don't know what they were doing, y'all. When you take the roof off and you try to re-roof it, you see a lot of the issues. It's like they covered up things, but then when you take things away, you can see like where the issues are. Yeah, so I don't know. But either way, I'm fixing the floor plan. So like I said, the upstairs is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. I did go back and like add some more tile out here in the back of the house. And then I was really having a hard time with these shingles. I had to use the Sims 3 tool mod to like move them up against the house. And I'm also using the Sims 3 tool mod for the curtains and stuff. So if you ever download any of my builds and you're wondering why the curtains in particular, or like the blinds, they float when you have the walls down, that's why. It's because I use the Sims 3 tool mod. You don't have to have the mod installed to like download any of my builds. If it's an issue for you, because I know it is kind of annoying when you see them float, if it is an issue, you can always delete them if you want. I just like to use it because like when you use curtains on windows in this game, unless it's like a very specific window, 9 times out of 10 it's going to clip, or it's not going to be placed just how you want it. So I use the tool mod to kind of like lower the curtains down to kind of match where the window is. But if it is an issue, you can always delete it. But now we move on to the boys room. So in here, I knew that I wanted it to be sports themed. I thought of this wallpaper, and this wallpaper gives off 90s, early 2000s energy to me. So I knew that I had to use it. I'm also using the beds from the Generation pack. I have the matching nightstands to go with them. I even have the matching desk. You know, again, I feel like the whole bedroom came from a catalog. The beds, the nightstands, the desk, even the computer, everything came from a catalog, y'all. I'm telling you, mom maxes out those credit cards. She does not care. But I do think that the boys' room looks really nice. It's just very, like, sports themed, I would say. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where, like, the mom is like, okay, your room's gonna be sports themed, but then, like, they're still kind of kids, so, like, they have different interests also. They're really into sports, but there's also some other things, too, like robots. I'd imagine, like, maybe, like, the sim equivalent of Power Rangers, you know? So, they're kind of into a lot of different things, but it's heavily sports themed, if that makes sense. I also gave them a lava lamp. I don't know what it is lately, y'all, but I love putting lava lamps in just about all of my builds. I just like looking at them. Like, low-key, I want to get one in real life, but I'm like, if I buy one, I'm never gonna use it. So I was like, maybe I could just have one in The Sims, you know? I don't know why though, but I just like looking at the lava move around in the game, so I always have one in my builds. I did change the color of the wallpaper, so at first it was like a blue, but I changed the wallpaper to be like beige, and then like the sports accent walls, they went from blue to green. The color scheme in here does change a little bit. I also added a toy box in here as well. I did go back and add a whole bunch of sports posters on the wall, and then I even have some sports balls too, so we have soccer ball, baseball, football, basically whatever I could find in the game. Even like the little throwing disc, I put that in here as well. I went through the university catalog and I found some of those sports posters, and there's little banners and flags and stuff. So I made sure to deck this room out in a lot of sports themed objects. It kind of sucks in a way though, because if I was using store content, I would have put even more, because there's literally like a man cave set from the Sims 3 store that has a lot of sports themed objects. There's like a soccer end table. There's like a coffee table as well that's like sports themed. There's like a bunch of stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not using store content today, so I'm just using stuff from packs in the base game, so it kind of works. Also, I did not know that poster from Generations with the soccer player came in different swatches, so like, that was kind of cool. Now I found out something new. That's basically everything for this room. A lot of this was just me trying to cycle through, looking through, just seeing whatever I could add in here. And like I said earlier, I found those flags from the university pack. So I just went through and I just like changed the color of the banner at the top. But that's pretty much everything for that room. And now we go on to the parents' room. So y'all, I feel like this room gives off probably the most 90s energy. I have this wallpaper. I think it's kind of like bad, but in a good way. So I have this wallpaper with the flowers. It's usually like a reddish color, but I made it like white and purple. And then I'm using the bed from I believe it's the Seasons pack. And then I'm also using some nightstands from the Generations pack as well. These nightstands just kind of give off an older energy, so I made them purple and white. I know, y'all, the color scheme in here is purple and white. The bathroom as well upstairs is also purple. I feel like the mom is just, you know, she's a homemaker, she's a homebody, and she just wants her whole house to be just perfect, you know? I also added the dresser from the base game. It's the one that has the flowers on him. I'm using the mirror that comes with the Master Sweet Stuff pack. That one kind of gives off like fancy 90s energy, I guess. I also put a plant in here as well. And this room has access to the balcony, but there's really nothing on the balcony, but it just has access to one. And honestly, that's pretty much everything for the room. I did like add a little picture and stuff, and I'm adding some more of those curtains and blinds and stuff, but that's pretty much everything for the room. I do go back and add some purple curtains in here too. And then the last room in the house that I furnish is the bathroom. So for the bathroom, I kind of just went with a purpley color scheme, so it looks very fancy. I kind of wanted it to match the one downstairs, but I do that a lot in the game where I have like the upstairs bathroom and the downstairs bathroom basically be the same, but I wanted to change this one up a little bit. So instead of it being like, you know, a tan color or brown color, it's very purple. I use the shower tub combo from base game. I also have the base game countertops in there as well, and this bathroom ended up being a little bit bigger than it was originally, so I was able to like put the shower tub combo and the toilet and all that. So in the end, I think everything turned out really nicely. I know this house is one of my favorites, but I don't know if it's my favorite one. I don't know. I haven't finished doing all the renovations yet, so who knows, but this is definitely going to be one of my favorites, y'all. I love this build. So hopefully you will too. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. The only other thing I do for this house is I added a little like outdoor grill section. So there's a grill, there's a table, and a picnic table, and that's pretty much everything for this house. If you want to download this, y'all, I am going to leave this link down below. And also, please be sure to stick around for the screenshots at the end of the video, because it shows you like, you know, all the extra changes I made and stuff. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. Please follow me over on Twitch, because I do stream a lot of The Sims over there. I do play The Sims 2 on Twitch as well, and The Sims 3 and other stuff too. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thanks for watching.